Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you're having a great morning. And before we get rolling with today's podcast, if you haven't yet, leave me a review on iTunes. Leave me a comment there. That would be greatly appreciated. I would love if you can do that. I want to get this episode into more coaches' hands. So if you can share this with someone who really needs to listen to this, that would mean a lot. All right, cool. So we're going to dig in today to sales and what selling means to me. And I know this is one of those things that coaches have a big fear about. And I know this because I personally had this. I've talked to hundreds of coaches over the phone. Most people, period, whether they're normal people or they're coaches, doesn't matter. They are afraid to sell anything, because ultimately it comes down to two things, I believe. Number one, they're afraid of being rejected. That's a very common obstacle coaches have. And number two, they have a bad association with sales because they don't like being sold to. They think that sales is like an evil thing. They think it's bad. They think it's annoying. And this is what stops a lot of coaches from being successful, is they are afraid of being rejected and they think sales is bad. And I know too, some coaches that I've talked to have been in like the insurance sales business. They've been selling cars. They sell things that they don't really like selling. And so they think that they're persuading people to buy something that they don't need. And I know with insurance, obviously you need that, right? But that's another objection, is coaches come in from a different industry selling something that they don't like. And so they think, again, sales is a bad thing. Like they're manipulating the person to buy. And I'm here to tell you, we need to do one thing today. And this needs to be something that you write down, and it should be on your computer. It should be on your phone. And this should be in front of you constantly. This should be a message that you constantly see throughout the day. And it's on my phone. And it's on my notes tab. And I go through my notes tab every single morning when I wake up. And I look at this. And it has three things. It says selling equals helping. All right, I'm going to repeat that. Selling equals helping. And here's how I break that down. This is how I define it. The more I can sell to parents who have kids that I want to train, the more I can help these kids. And I learned this about a year ago at a conference. This guy told me, he said, hey, Ben, there's thousands of kids in your city every single night. They go to bed crying because they are not getting your help. And when he said that to me, it was like I ran into a brick wall. I could just feel like a thud when he said that. But he was right. And I realized, you know what? If I'm going to be really persistent, if I really want to help kids the way I say I do, then I know I'm going to be able to push that message and be willing to sell and be willing to help as many kids as humanly possible. And that's the mindset you have to have. It's not, oh, well, I'm going to get rejected, or, oh, I don't think they're going to buy from me. Those are selfish reasons. You should be selling as much as you possibly can throughout the day, because ultimately you are helping those kids. And if you do not sell, you cannot help these kids. That's just the way it works. If you have a program that requires money for parents to invest into your program, if you do not sell, they do not pay. If they do not pay, you cannot help, right? And I know that sounds so simple, but we need to make it simple, because if it's complex, if it's confusing, if it feels frustrating, if you feel nervous about selling, just know that no matter how nervous you are, you need to run through a brick wall and get better at sales, which is something I would highly recommend, is learn how to get good at it. Don't just act like you're bad at it. There's no one on the planet who's just naturally good at selling anything. Like, you have to learn how to be persuasive. You have to learn how to better communicate. These are all things I've had to learn. Like, I didn't start my business selling everything and having everyone commit to my programs. It was the opposite. I was nervous. I was shy. I hated talking over the phone. Sometimes my phone would ring and I'd go run into the other room because I was afraid to pick up. That's how nervous I used to be. Now I embrace that crap. I'm like, yes, let's get on the phone today. Let's make some sales. Let's go help more kids. That's the approach that we should be taking here. Not, oh, I just don't know if I can sell, or selling. If I try to sell too hard, they're not going to want to do it. No, you need to be relentlessly selling, because if you're relentlessly selling, you can help more kids. And if you want to have a bigger impact on this planet, well, you need to help more kids. So that means you need to sell. That's it for today's message. If you want to learn how to sell and close more clients into your program, head to my website. Go to www.buildmysportsbiz.com. Click on Mastermind. I have a sales script. I have a contract that parents sign. I'll show you how strategically how to get clients to commit to your program for 6 to 12 months so that you can build recurring revenue, and each client would be ultimately valued at like $4,800 per year if you use the same setup that I have. And that's it for today's message. Head to our website, check out the Mastermind, and I'll see you on the next episode.